How to defeat the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Of course, this is going to be one of the biggest revelations of the Firefly Funhouse whenever we discover how and who defeats Bray Wyatt as the Fiend. We know the Fiend is like this devil entity that's been with Bray since he was a child. We know that from the Man in the Woods story. We know Bray Wyatt is the Man in the Woods. So why Bray Wyatt only chooses to let the Fiend out now could portray a good part in this story. Now, we know from this week's Smackdown, Ramblin' Rabbit was the major talking point. Of course, he appeared on a monitor behind Daniel Bryan and sparked this whole conversation when he said he knew how to defeat the Fiend. He knew the secrets, and he would tell Daniel Bryan because he's Daniel Bryan's biggest fan. Of course, Daniel Bryan was intrigued, but before Ramblin' Rabbit could tell Daniel, Bray Wyatt shut him up. He put the hurt glove over his mouth. That was the end of that. Now, I did actually make a theory video on this last night. As a premiere, it went up. Quite a few of you saw it. And then, thanks to this random company saying my voice is copyrighted, it got taken down. So please make sure you hit that like button on this video. It really will help it out. Now, of course, later on that night, Daniel Bryan got given Ramblin' Rabbit's corpse by Bray Wyatt as a gift. Now, we know that Ramblin' Rabbit comes back to life. If Bray Wyatt is worried about Ramblin' Rabbit spilling the beans, why would he give him a gift of the puppet that's going to reincarnate and come back to life and tell Daniel? Unless that's what he wants Daniel Bryan to think. Now, I genuinely think Ramblin' Rabbit doesn't know the secret. I think he is just this, a puppet. And I know that's really hard to hear, but I think Bray Wyatt is using the puppets to send a message. Think about it. When Seth Rollins was feuding with The Fiend, this is exactly what happened again. Seth Rollins was impersonated by Ramblin' Rabbit. Ramblin' Rabbit told Seth Rollins he was his biggest fan. And of course, Ramblin' Rabbit was going to tell Seth Rollins how to defeat The Fiend, the secrets of the Firefly Funhouse. But before he could, once again, Bray Wyatt shut him up. I like that. It's almost like Bray Wyatt is using the puppets as mind games. And that's exactly what they are. Think about it. They are puppets. It's literally in the title of their name. It's not as if we're just randomly theorizing they're puppets. We know they're puppets. They're not real. They're Bray Wyatt's toys. And he's using them to play mind games with the superstars. He is, in fact, the puppet master. And I really like that. But it does mean that maybe Ramblin' Rabbit doesn't know the secrets of the Funhouse. Maybe the puppets are there just simply for mind games. Maybe if someone's a little bit dark, maybe that Bray Wyatt's taken them to a special place or something. Maybe Abby the Witch is that calming kind of voice. Maybe Huskus the Pig Boy is for someone who's really greedy. Or when someone's super confident, like Daniel Bryan was last night on Smackdown, and talking trash, maybe that's when Ramblin' Rabbit comes out. Now, the other theory a lot of people are talking about is the "you can't kill it" under the red light tweet that Bray Wyatt sent out quite a few months ago now. A lot of people are saying that under the red light, you can't kill the Fiend, so maybe if you actually turn the red lights off, maybe that's the secrets of his power. But what's hidden on this tweet in plain sight is a full stop after the word "it." Now, he literally says, "You can't kill it." Under the red light, the zombie man rules the universe. It's two different sentences. Therefore, I don't think the red light actually gives Bray Wyatt the power we think it might do. I think it's a distraction. Imagine SummerSlam, back when he faced Finn Balor. There was no red light, yet the Fiend was still unstoppable, still unbeatable. And I really think if the red light was going to be the big party trick of the Fiend, surely it would be shown at SummerSlam in his very first match. Now, the other big theory is Sister Abigail. Of course, when Bray Wyatt had Sister Abigail's soul within him, we didn't see the Fiend. Bray was just a cult leader. He did dastardly things, but he wasn't Funhouse Bray. He wasn't the Fiend because Sister Abigail suppressed that. And if you watch Matt Hardy's Free to Delete, that's kind of been confirmed. That whole story by Matt Hardy has been sort of portrayed a little bit, and it shows that Sister Abigail is in the lake of reincarnation. Her soul is now trapped there. It's tainted the waters of the lake, meaning she's no longer within Bray. If she's no longer inside Bray, that means the Fiend could take over Bray Wyatt. Now, maybe the way you kill the Fiend is you let her in, just like Rising did on Free the Delete. That's how he defeated Woken Matt Hardy. It's very possible and plausible. Now, another theory is the heel and hurt gloves. Of course, we always see the Fiend wrestle with these gloves, and I don't think they're the source of the power within the Fiend. I think they have power, but I don't think this is the right power we're talking about for this video. I do like the idea that if you maybe took the heel and hurt gloves off, maybe that's how you defeat the Fiend. My only issue with that is we've seen Funhouse Bray wear these gloves, and when he wrestled Miz at TLC, he obviously didn't. And yet he was still laughing, he was still joking around, he was still doing his whole Funhouse Bray thing, and he still had that evilness within him. But he never wore the gloves. The power was still there, yet the gloves weren't. So maybe the Miz just didn't change through Bray Wyatt, and maybe the gloves are the source of the power. It's possible. Maybe the actual phrase, "let me in," is like a password for the Fiend. Maybe if you actually let the Fiend in, you let your own inner demon take over. Maybe that's how you defeat the Fiend. That's very plausible. Now, of course, the other thing I want to mention is this big mallet. Now, we haven't actually seen this used in the ring. Obviously, it's a huge hammer. You can't go around hitting people in the head with it every week. Everyone would be dead. But the only time we have seen it is inside the Funhouse, and it stopped Ramblin' Rabbit. Every other time it's gone to be used, at Hell in a Cell or Daniel Bryan getting hold of it, it wasn't actually used. Remember when Seth Rollins caved the head in of Bray Wyatt? He didn't use the hammer. He used a sledgehammer. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe the hammer has powers. Now, I love the fact that Ramblin' Rabbit sparked this conversation because I really miss the puppets. I love talking about them and I love thinking what their purpose is and what they mean and things like that. So I am pleased at that, but I don't think Ramblin' Rabbit has any big secret. I think he is just a puppet that Bray Wyatt is using for mind games. But it has sparked this whole conversation and it's made this really interesting to look at different ways and how possibly the Fiend could be defeated. I mean, it's very possible that maybe one day he's just rolled up with a schoolboy, 1, 2, 3, match is over, and WWE Ruin the Fiend will be a title on everyone's YouTube channel, but it's very, very possible. I really want to know your thoughts, so let me know. How do you think the Fiend will be defeated? In the comments section down below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I will, as always, see you next time. You waiting? Okay, peace!